Up From Work podcast. My name's Dave Swillem. Let's get ready to hustle.
Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the Waking Up From Work podcast. You're listening to your host, Dave Swillem, and we're going to have Ryan Kerrigan on tonight as well. Sorry if we're getting some reverb in here. I am right now in Tennessee doing a little bit of work down on this property during this COVID time here. So I've got my portable setup, which isn't bad, but not crazy. So today you're listening to episode 57 of the podcast. If you're new to us, we are about getting to work, making work a passion, doing your creative life full time. And that can be a lot of different things. We speak to entrepreneurs, musicians, audio engineers, creatives, designers, of pretty much anyone that I think might make sense for this audience right here. So really glad to have you. If you've been hanging out with us, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We really appreciate it, and wouldn't do this if there wasn't anyone listening. So thank you guys for hanging out. Today's episode is going to be something that I kind of held off from because it is a little bit bold to talk about and something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. But I really wanted to talk about getting fired. Reason being is because I'm sure a lot of us are seeing it or we're experiencing it right now during these COVID times. Unfortunately, we're at like 15% unemployment rate right now. So a lot of people can probably relate, but I think that a lot of people have a hard time or haven't talked about it or had to face this before. So I wanted to try to help out. And although I'm not currently fired from what I'm doing, I've been fired before. And it was really shitty. And I dealt with a lot of things that I never experienced before. And I think I have a lot of things that you may experience or have experienced, and thought it'd be helpful to share some of those experiences. And the story alone is kind of fun anyway. So figured I would experience what it's like to get fired.
Welcome everybody to episode 57 of the Waking Up From Work podcast. Here in Coronaville, USA. Everybody's sitting here with their masks on, spraying Lysol everywhere, taking freaking hand sanitizer baths, doing yoga and drinking Tito's fucking vodka all day. It's a hard time out there, everybody. But we're going to have a good one.
I couldn't even wait for it, dude. I had to get one
Dave
word
Swillem.
in.
What's up?
I had to push one word into your words. I couldn't even give that to you. I don't know. Before you introduced me, I didn't know I was getting like an official introduction. So I had like one word.
Yeah, dude. You always get the official introduction. You're the big papa, dude. You're the head honcho.
Look at that,
You're
dude.
the owner of the company. Yeah, homie. That's what I'm saying, man. You got to roll the red carpet out.
Well,
and by red
welcome,
carpet, I mean this sultry ass voice.
Welcome people on
sultry, I mean
Instagram.
slightly annoying.
Thank you guys for hanging out. If you,
Hi, friends.
Yeah, look
I'm
at that.
Actually
dude.
on Instagram.
Ryan
Holy
Kerrigan
shit.
VO just made an Instagram coming out of the darkness right there. For those of you that haven't,
Dude, I've been in the darkness for a minute.
We're called the Waking Up From Work podcast, and we are a podcast about living the life that you want to have. So we're called Waking Up From Work because we believe that not working, not like lazy, like hang out, don't do anything. We just believe that what it is that you do shouldn't be work to you. So we believe in just living a creative life full time. I'm an audio engineer. Ryan's a voiceover actor. And we kind of interview people and we talk on stuff like that and just normal shit that happens in real life, I guess. So what's up, Rye? What are we digging into tonight, man? Just me and you. You're in your
yeah, dude. These are the nitty gritty episodes.
I'm in
These are
my
favorite
little room with my pup.
Dude, we're in Quarantineville, USA right now. We're making do with what we have, using subpar equipment in places that we're not normally at, making it happen, man. But we're digging into it today. Today we're digging into a story about a man that all of us know and have become familiar with. It is a legendary story. And we're going to dig into the weeds today. We were talking about this before, like when we were getting ready. I've never had a situation that's like the situation that you've been in. And I actually have a particular anxiety about it, a very, very irrational fear. And so we're going to be digging into getting fired.
For those of you who have followed along with the podcast, I've kind of hinted, because we do this weekly. I think we were doing it weekly at that point. I've kind of hinted at like a really shitty, rough patch in my life where I got let go. And I talked about like 2 months where I was unemployed. And I think I hinted at it a bunch. And I think I told people this, but I wanted to actually take an episode now that we're sitting in an economy that is just riddled with friends and family and people that we know who are losing their jobs left and right. I thought right now would be a good time for me to share my full story with people so that they don't feel so shitty about themselves, because this stuff happens no matter what, is going on in the world or what is happening. Only you guys have like a better excuse than I do, because I didn't get fired during the quarantine. So I just got fired.
I got regular fired.
So I wanted to talk about it.
I'm already getting nervous, dude. My hands are getting sweaty.
I gotta show. Should I show the frame now or later? That's a kickoff thing or an ender thing? Like we leave people hanging, or? All right. Okay.
Let's get into it a little bit first. We'll get the backstory, and then we'll dig into the whys and the mindset, and then we'll go into the complete tragedy and heartbreak.
Okay, so
and then we'll
very
back
quick
up,
story is, if you followed my couple of years of exploding my life, like just things have just changed like rapid fire for me the past couple of years, is I had to leave the job that I was doing at the time because Meg got into vet school. We had to buy a property in another place. We had to renovate it. There's all the shit that we had to do. And I didn't have vacation time enough that I could take vacation and get this done. I had to actually swap jobs and somehow time it to be able to take a month off and go down south and renovate this house with Meg and then come back to something. And I wanted to change anyway at that point. I had finished my master's degree that the company had paid for, and the company was fine that I worked for. I was just sick of it, and I wanted to change anyway. So that is why I got this job. And I'm not going to ever say the company name because I don't want to throw trash around. And there's a lot of good people that still work there. I just had a disagreement with the owner to the point that he disagreed so much with me that he disagreed with having me in his building or working in his clothes anymore. So it was a big disagreement.
It's like the most disagreeable there is.
It was like the most disagreeing possible, which is like, don't
right now.
ever see me again disagree. But it's that vibe disagreement. But so I got this job doing live sound, which for those of you who know me, I'm an audio engineer. I'm super studio based. So live sound still isn't my favorite place to be, but I'm happier there than what I was doing before. So I got this job and I was pumped. It was to do a new role for a company, do like sales and marketing for this audio company, and start that program up for them as a small business. So no matter what, dude, I learned a ton through this role. It was super, like, no one told me anything to do every day. So actually that really is why this happened. But I learned a lot from it. So, I won't go down to the details of exactly where this buildup happened, but it ultimately came from I felt that I was not correctly told the responsibilities or guided in any way or of expectations, because I'd come in every day and it's like, do what you think you're supposed to do based off of the role that I told you. So I had no expectations of performance. I had no way to grade what I was doing. And I was like, okay, I will do sales and marketing. And so this went on for 3 or 4 months, and some really terrible stuff went down where my pay that was told to me was literally half of what I was told. So I left this other job to take a pay cut to go to this job that I wanted to do, and got paid half of that pay. So I already took a large pay cut went to a new job, and then took half of a pay cut,
To then take
half
a
of the total
significantly
salary
more
of that
pay cut.
pay at that job because things were not promised correctly, right? And so we're in that position. I'm not a happy person being paid like that and having the expectations different, right? Things just slowly go south and south and south. I'm at a point now where, I am miserable. I'm actually like depressed because I am getting like verbally harassed every day. Like no matter where I am, anything that I say is just like someone comes out and is just like, oh, dude, just like a normal, like if I'm talking to someone about the Red Sox,
Constantly.
this guy would come out and be like, fuck the Red Sox. And you'd be like, you don't feel that way. And it'd be like, I know, I just hate you as a person and I want you to be unhappy. So it just got toxic, dude. My day-to-day life, I'm just feeling like I'm walking on eggshells, literally to the point, you get that feeling, I would be walking down a hallway where I knew his desk was, and I just felt anxiety walking down the hallway on the back of my neck because I just felt him staring at me in hatred, just looking at me and being like, I hate this guy. Like, it just...
Dude, knew the sound of your
just got dark,
and he
and
hated
so like
those too.
I was already in a spot where I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like this is just ruining my life. But I was the only provider for our family. We had all these life changes that happened. That was not an option to just quit. It was not an option to just leave, right? And so this keeps bubbling up, and then I come in on a Monday. I come in with my coffee, start setting up my computer, and he's like, hey, can we talk? And at this point, we had like a first altercation that happened where he kind of blindsided me with things that he had never expressed to me through our entire time together, but he said them right. But he said
never
them
said
as
like
if
an
we had talked about it every day.
previously,
I'm
right?
like, where the fuck is this coming from? And so after this huge altercation came out the week before, I was already like, this guy doesn't communicate, so I think that he's going to fire me just randomly now because he's oh, dude, I already felt it. I was like,
trust in the
one
gut.
of us is going to go. Like, something's going to happen.
Good
He's
gut
going to fire
decision.
me, or like, I'm going to get out of here because I am furious with this person for all the bullshit, right? So it's just bad, right? It's
so
bad.
uncomfortable,
But then
just
he's
like I
like,
told
all
you
right,
was
we got to
gonna
talk.
happen, dude. I know.
We are all set with your services here now. I was like, okay. Dude, I was at a point where like I was so miserable that I was. I
Were you,
wasn't
like,
angry.
relieved?
I wasn't like sad or upset. I literally was like, okay. And then he's like, all right, do you want me to run through why? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Sure. And then he like goes through it and, like what his expectation is. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, great. I'll get my stuff. What do you need from me? Oh, I'm not going to be dropping my clothes off because this is far away. Right. And it's just like, okay, so now like I'm just like clearing my stuff out. I despite anything, dude, like people are people and like life is life. So I went in and shook his hand and said, thank you for the opportunity, man. Like appreciate the time, even though I did not feel like that.
I just want to let you know I did appreciate the time, but I'm going to tell you I did because I'm a fucking
I was just trying
man.
to like
and how did that
weird.
go?
I'm not gonna trash on him, but he did not. I don't feel that he responded and reciprocated that, being a man about it type of vibe. It was a weak handshake. You know what I mean?
Dang.
It was like kind of like.
Yeah.
I honestly felt like he thought I was gonna like attack him or something because it's just like he's kind of like looked at me like, why the fuck are you in this office? Like, why are you not just like out of here? Yeah.
Dead. Wow, dude.
I get in my truck
dead.
and I drive away and I just called Meg, who's in Tennessee at the moment. And she's heard stories this whole way up of being like, Meg, like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, this guy hates me. He is shitting on me every day and making my life fucking awful. and she had already heard stories, and I just called her up and I'm like, hey honey, it's just like a normal call. Like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hey, I just got fired.
Mhm.
I'm driving
How's it
home right
going?
now. I'm going to go hang out for the day. And then, I'm going to like freak the fuck out and get shit done tomorrow, like very early, like 5 o'clock or 4 in the morning. But like today I'm going to go chill and drink and play video games and not be responsible at all. And she's like, oh, okay, you got
Not
fired.
really
Like,
giving a fuck about
done.
getting fired.
It's like, oh yeah, that's completely done. I'm never going back. We're done. We're completely done. It's super done right now. We cannot
like
see
the
each
most
other
done it
again.
can
It's
be.
done. And yeah, dude. So that's how it went down. That's the first time in my life I have ever been fired. I've never been that person. I've always been the person that left. It's always been cool with me and past employers. We've never had any issues like this. So for me, all of this was a first. Like everything was a first in that situation. And I didn't really, it was a bad timing because I had chosen to take a month off of work like 2 or 3 months ago from this point. So I had done that financially with an understanding of like, I'm going to take an entire month off of income, which I'd never been able to do in my life. And I was doing better to do that. Came back to work and then got let go like 3 months later. Fired. That was not the plan at that point, dude.
It's just like, it was so opposite of the plan that it was almost like stunning. Or it was just like, yeah, wow. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it was
really
that was
needing this
definitely
one.
not part of the plan, dude.
So how did you like weigh like the need for that with like the relief of just being out of a shitty situation? Like how did that end up feeling?
Oh my God.
Like what ended up winning? We were just like so relieved that you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do some fucking other stuff.
Driving
right now.
home, the relief, and when it happened, like truly, dude, I wasn't even like, I literally didn't react like you know how like sometimes you've seen or heard people let go, like even I used to be a manager of people, dude. So like I then had to tell people bad news that would like gut twist them, like fuck, like I can't believe this is happening. I didn't have that at all, dude. Yeah, and he was expecting
like
it, obviously.
Very uncomfortable
so he's like, hey, we're letting you go. I was like,
well, yeah, I mean, it's like the
I was so relieved.
Human reaction in a time
I was
like
so
that.
relieved
like,
when he told me. I was like, okay.
Security.
I'm not being sarcastic right now. I'm like, I'm genuinely okay with this. I understand. I get it. Cool. Yeah, we're not cool. We're not cool. You know?
I've had to say
so
some
in the
bad
truck
news
in
before.
that night.
It's like, yo, you're not cool, dude. Like, I'm
the
fine.
relief
like,
that
you're
night
not cool, but
was the one that won. Like, I genuinely felt like bliss, dude. I was like, I will take the grind of figuring my life the fuck out than I would over that life that I was living, so much so that I am just like blissfully happy right now. I'm so fucking happy that this happened.
And isn't that like so funny how that's like kind of the opposite of how you'd think that most people would be? They'd just be like almost like needing to choose like the resource that kind of makes their life go, and like having that insecurity. But like you would rather have the sense of like, and I think that this is true, is that like I feel like most people, like when it really comes down to it, would pick that sense of like security and good feeling and like having their shit and like not like together and not being miserable at the place that they're being at. And like you said, like, yeah, I will take the absolute fucking trek of figuring whatever the next thing is out over eating shit like that with somebody who's not getting it.
So that one first, and then for like 2 weeks, I grinded really hard, but I also felt fine. Like every day I would wake up and I would apply to jobs for like literally 9 or 10 hours just on my couch, like straight up, eat lunch there. I would fucking apply to jobs. Right. So like I did that for 2 weeks, but in that space, I felt fine. Like I was like, I'm cool. I'm still kind of happy this happened. I'm glad I'm not there. I would rather do this. We'll see what happens next. Like all of that was cool for 2 weeks.
You're doing stuff.
Then after 2 weeks, that's when like another 2 weeks of like paranoia came in. I'm like, fucking none of these places are answering. None of them are looking at me. I'm never going to get a job. I'm the only provider for our family and the only income. I'm going to get fucked. Like, now I'm freaking out. Now every day I'm waking up anxiety, dude. I'm fucking like, oh, dude, it is like a fire. I'm still like applying to places nonstop, but I'm freaking out every day, feeling anxious. Like I don't know what I'm going to do. And then inside there, like the entrepreneurial piece of me is like, hey, you should just launch right now. But then like the piece of me that was like, you still have too much debt. Well, no, you have too much debt and you're the sole provider. Like, you don't have the right to fucking launch right now. Like, that's not part of the plan that you guys agreed on, right? Mm-hmm. And so I had to stop myself from launching because Meg and I have this like master plan and things were going to a plan and the plan will work, but that it wasn't the right time. But like, I'm fighting that because at night, like I'm cranking on audio. I'm putting out more content than I ever did because I have random time where I just needed the break from the computer because I wouldn't be productive to go do audio and music shit. So now this comes on a week, you know, every single week. That's when we started doing that, I think. And then everything's like cranking with content and with music writing and things like that. All that is going well, but then there's all this anxiety and shit and depression. And Meg was away, and I just didn't want to talk to any of my friends. So it was just like really dark at that spot of my life, really like in my own head on it, drinking a ton. Like it just got super shitty. And then you hit like month 2, dude. And that's when I was like starting to lose, just like it's funny now that we're talking about this during quarantine, because I was losing schedule. And that was an issue because that was putting me behind on getting things done right. Where like every day I'd wake up a little bit later, half hour, half hour. I'm just waking up later and later into the day. I'm doing less and less time applying to places because I was like, I fucking just can't do this anymore, right? And I don't have to, but I have to, but I don't have to. Mm-hmm. Right? So
Yeah, it's just like, I don't have to, but I don't have to because if I don't, I'll die.
I make the choices that I do right now entirely. Literally no one else does. But I have to because I am very aware of how much income I don't have right now, and I know that can't happen. Right?
We're hurting people.
So,
feeling the burn.
So I literally... We did,
and then breakfast. We got breakfast.
That was during the podcast
we talked
thing,
about
right?
It. Remember
podcast NH? Is that what it was? Do we have breakfast or a different time?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Right, dude.
I think that was the day that actually
that still was it.
And we talked about this episode. We're going to do this episode.
Oh my god!
It's
been brewing in there.
It's been in the making, people. It has been.
So,
and now we get to do it in Corona Town.
I literally started putting on like a full suit in my house because I had no reason to do things or wake up or be doing things. So I literally started waking up
productive
at the same time and putting on like a full suit so that I felt like what I was doing was important and I had structure to like what I was doing. And it, you know what? Honestly, it did too. I didn't feel comfortable enough to like lay in bed or lay on a couch or something. I was like, I'm in like the suit. So I would sit there and fucking do.
It's like, dude, I'm in clothes that you just do shit
because I had to. And then I got out, but.
You feel weird sleeping
Remember,
in a tuxedo.
We did the video for our website in beds with a suit. It felt awful.
We did do that. And it did feel very strange.
Like,
it was jarring. I was like under the covers. I was like,
my God.
Get me out of here. I feel like a fucking crazy person right now. I feel like I'm in some kind of freaking strange music video.
Come up next music video to the intro. Well, wait, that pretty much was it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The Waking Up From Work music video with me on the vocals making everybody not listen to it. Yeah, dude, singing. I'm going to do my voiceover of somebody who can't sing. I'm very fucking impressive, dude. It's spot on. Dude, here's my impression of somebody not singing in a C sharp.
Yeah, dude.
All right. All right. So back to it. Sorry, we're derailing.
Yeah, like obviously the end of the story.
So, like, did you really start hitting a new trajectory? Like, did that help? Like, when you were just doing
Yes.
psychopathic shit, like wearing a fucking suit in your goddamn room by yourself? Because, like, honestly, like, on the whole, like, if somebody was to see you doing that, like, if there was a camera in your room and somebody saw you doing that and it was just you, you could be famous on the internet. It's just like crazy person.
Yeah, dude, I did
thinks
it.
they're at a job, but they're
It
at
was
their
for
house.
a while. Like it
36
wasn't always a
million
suit.
views.
Sometimes it's just shirt and tie or dress shirt or something and dress pants or something. But it was for like almost like a month, dude, that I did that. But
that's tough, man.
what I'll say is
like boss.
I got the poorest that I think I've ever been. And there are a lot of things that came out of that for me. And you know what, dude, we like make fun of people, or like we make fun of our like show all the time because we ask that question about like mistakes and how no one thinks it's a mistake on the show, right? This was another one of those times where I was like, this all was meant to happen. And here's why, is because I'm still on the same quest that I'm on for this entrepreneurial strive and like what I'm trying to do, right? All of that is still my vision. And it didn't feel like it when I'm like feeling depressed or like I fucking am poor and like I feel shitty. Like it doesn't feel like it then. I'm not feeling like in that moment, I'm not like, this was meant to happen. I'm like, this sucks. Like this really, really sucks.
It's like a retro. It's definitely like when you look back at it afterwards, you're like, oh yeah, I definitely needed to feel like shit in that. And I really needed to feel all those things. And man, I was super miserable. And I can't believe my liver survived through this. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I needed to drink all that, all those martinis.
There's two things that
got me to the place I needed to be.
That I needed in my life again is because I was working a job that wasn't paying me enough because remember the half the pay of the already pay cut, right? So I already knew what it was like to not do well with money again. And I needed that reminder that I already got, right? When this happened, I got to a point of poor where I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to eat. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I even remember, like, I still have it. Like I cut my hand with a glass. Like when I was like cleaning a glass, the glass broke when I was cleaning it in the sink and a piece of glass went into the side of my hand and out the other side of it. Like on the skin on the side, like cut it. Right. I remember the feeling that I had never had in my life. And I've said this on the podcast before, of not having healthcare and not having the option of, I fucking look at my hand and I'm like, I know that I need stitches 100%, but I cannot afford to go to the hospital and go to the emergency room right now. And I cannot afford to eat food. And I like pressure on it and like stuff like that. But I remember going through that, I needed that because after that part of my life, still in the process of going to entrepreneurship, I'm still not living royal right now. I'm still in this small room. I'm still not eating like top tier foods. I'm still living that life. But what it has made happen is I had already gone through some of these sacrifices and got into that life of like, you know, figuring it out however it had to happen to move me towards the goal financially to make it so that it was possible, right? That low of things that I had never experienced before had made it so that like now I absolutely appreciate every single possible thing in life, dude. Like I had already experienced things like that in my life, but never to that gravity. And honestly, it fed empathy into me for people because I had enough privilege in my life that I had never known what it was like for people to just not have healthcare. Do you know what I mean? Like you take things for granted.
And it's like very, like we were talking about before, it's like very trying, like telling of these times too, where it's just like, yo, dog, some stuff's going down and some people have nothing to do anything with. And like being in that very primal spot is just like, dude, you know, even I've been there where it's just like, dude, you like, if something goes down like right now, like you are fucked. And it's just like that is like, it's weird that you say that you need it because any person who's like sane is just like, that sounds like something that I just don't need. but it like really
Unbelievable.
does put you in this like primal state of mind. It's scary, and dude, it is really scary. Like I can only imagine, and like that thing never happened to me, but even just like the being on like the psychological edge of like knowing that whatever comes your way, regardless of whatever your input was, like some shit could just happen. You know what I mean? Like your glass could just randomly break. It's not like you were sitting there and freaking bashing it with a hammer or anything. Unless you were, dude, you're being a fucking idiot. Yeah. Dude, is that the world's hardest sponge?
Dude,
like,
I am the bull in the china shop, man. Like when I walk around, people know like I'm
that,
always
That's
the guy where
like
when they're hungover, sleeping in, and if I wake up before them, they're fucking mad, dude, because I'm walking around cooking eggs and shit, and and I'm not even listening to metal music. For me, it's like putting down glasses. I think I'm doing it like subtly, or I'm shutting a door subtly or something. I think, to me, it looks like I'm just placing things. No, I think I think that everybody else might just be sensitive. I am so much so that I don't want to waste time that I literally slam and shut everything quickly because I'm like, I don't want to take the time to shut this slow. I don't know if I am, so dude. Efficient. Not if I'm like cutting my hands with glass because I'm trying to clean dishes fast.
Dude, you're intrusively efficient, dude. It's like, bitch, I'm trying to shut this goddamn thing 0.5 millisecond fucking faster.
I know. I'm trying to hit my PR with cabinet
the exact shutting.
Same clothes every day, so I don't waste time doing the clothes like Dean Kamen. You know what I mean? Did you know that? You know that, right? Dean Kamen. You know him from Manchester. He is like the crazy, insanely smart guy. He owns. All right. Well, he's ridiculous.
I've heard of him.
He's a New Hampshireite. He's the one that invented Segway.
Yeah.
He invented the Segway. But like he's doing ridiculous things with like
that's where I've heard that from
limbs and like he's just doing insane stuff. He has a helicopter landing pad at his house. He's just crazy smart madman guy. But he wears the same thing every day.
Fucking murdering it, dude. It's just like, hey man, how's it going? Oh, yo, just installed a new helicopter pad. The old one was getting a little worn out, you know. Just normal shit.
No.
I'm just like, cool. This baller as fuck, dude. I'm over here.
He has like 12 of the same shirts
Corolla
and the same pants that he wears every single day because he doesn't think that it's worth making a decision on clothes that you're going to wear for the day because he has so much more time that he wants to spend on helping humanity. That's literally his thought process.
Dude, this man has so many more important decisions to make
than me.
Yes. Dude, these are the topics that we talk about where I'm just like, everybody give up on your dreams. You'll never be as successful as these people. These motherfuckers are just wearing the same shirt every day so they don't. They can make room to make more decisions. Yeah, I'm just like, all right, dude, I'm taking this flannel off. We're just going black Amazon shirts all fucking day.
Yeah.
See you later, dude. I'm so rich. I make so many important decisions. I hire somebody to decide what color shirt I wear. You think there's a market in that, dude? Hey, Ryan, what's your new business? Here's the deal. I'm the guy who pitches to rich people. I'm so good at picking out shirts. Let me pick your shirts out for you.
Yeah.
I'm a bougie shirt.
Hell yeah, dude. That exact person's alive right now.
Mr. Shirt
Well,
McPickers,
if you had that name,
dude,
I don't think that you could pull off the bougie price point. McPickers?
I don't know, dude.
Mr.
I could just
Shirt
be like this
McPickers.
very suave, like upscale Irishman. Shirt McPickers, dude. I got this this pretty sensual, like orange mustache going on. I got a nice vest on. I'm tatted up. I look suave.
You better be paying marketing like you wouldn't believe,
hair, dude. And I'm just like, and then I just go over and I just be like, I think that's you're the pod one there. That's the one you should do. And then I fucking leave, dude. And I go home and I drink scotch in my basement. Dude.
I don't know.
That's the new dream right there, pal. Chat, everybody in Instagram chat, tell me what you think about that. Dave, continue. I'm sorry, I'm derailing your story. I derailed
it myself, to be honest, and you just jumped in with me.
It's okay, dude. This is what the podcast is for. So, like, dude, I am sitting here in a ball of anxiety right now, trying to put myself in your shoes about, like, getting fired and, like, having that hindsight of, like, because I feel like that's just the nature of going through things and, like, having new experiences and just, like, going through time. But, like, I feel like there's something very specific about, like, getting fired. I guess your situation's a little bit different because it was so clearly about like you and another person's personality and expectations just like not being communicated. And it was like very cut and dry. Like you were very sure being like, yo, fuck this noise, dude. Like I'm doing this straight out of necessity. And so like, I don't know, it sounded kind of easy, although horrible to be like, yeah, all right, fucking whatever. But then I think about like, well, what happens like when you get fired based off of like
In his mind, it was
or something like that, and it's like less
and honestly,
like,
it's perception.
see, and that's so isn't that so crazy? Where you're just like, man, in my mind, it's just like you're a psycho and have never talked to me about this, and in your head, like you really have like gone into depth about how bad I am, and
so
you have never talked to me about it. Like there's a lesson to be learned there, people, with communication styles. Like it turns out that some people, and I mean, like we can talk about this too. Like if you get hired for certain positions, like or like for certain credibilities, or like or you're going to be like a senior, whatever insert career there. Like there is a certain amount of expectation that is to be done on your own as a professional. And the company might not be as handholdy and as cut and dry. But dude, there always should be a baseline. Like every motherfucker needs a goddamn inscription that they put a description that they put on Indeed as a placeholder. Like you got to at least have that, right? But it just sounded like there's literally nothing. It's just like, hey, Dave, here we're gonna hire you to be this. Go for it. And you're just like, gotcha. Anything you really need? Nah, go for it. Okay, man. And then you did. And he's just like, hey, guess what? I'm mad at you that you didn't do any of these things. And you're like, what things? He's like, X, Y, and Z, you're fired. And you're like, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
That's what it felt like.
It seemed to be that. And I'm getting peripherally and like just like empathetically as much as we can be from being over this webcam, just frustrated for you.
I thought about it many times. Like I thought about it when it first happened. I thought about it like months later. And now I'm like a year out. I'm past a year from then. And I have thought about it again. I genuinely generally hold ultra accountability on myself and tell myself that everything is my fault so that no one has a win or loss on me, right? That's usually how I normally think, where I say everything is my fault. I think that when I look back on it, I think that I didn't deliver what I was asked to deliver. There was like, I think I was supposed to bring in like $100,000 worth of new business for this company, right? So I didn't deliver that. Like I did fail at that. I did not perform to what was asked of me. The way that I perceive it from my side is that I wasn't given the tools. This person has never had that role before and doesn't know how to manage, lead, or understand expectations for that type of role. And that without any structure that's given to me to go into a business that's not mine, because that's the difference too, right? It's not my business. So that means that I don't get to make the choices I want to make. So I'm being told to make certain choices that I think are not the right choice. And I voiced that. And I said, this isn't the best way to market this. This isn't the most effective to do the sale. This isn't that. At the end of the day, if I'm told to do something by someone who's never managed the role before, I still have to do it. If I voice my 2 cents and they say do it anyway, I have to do it. So I've been in business enough to know I'm a top performer, dude. I've always been in like the top 3 or 10 in any position like that I've done before that role for years, performing that way. So then for someone to fire me for results based off of my experience of being a top performer, if I'm at a company where I'm not a top performer, that means that something is wrong with the company. And I don't say that in like a cocky way, right? Because I don't think I'm the best.
Right. But the proof's in the pudding, and like the data is there. You know how you work.
Time of results. So like I held accountability. I still hold accountability of things that I looked back and I was like, hey, I could have done that better. This is a thing that I could have done that would have like solved that problem. Like there's a lot of things that I think about on it, but at the end of the day, I don't fault myself for it. And I am happy that it happened because it taught me new lessons in the downtime. it taught me an open mindedness, or like an open way of viewpoint and better empathy with people in that downtime. And then, to be honest, I've been looking at Corona time. That was a live sound company that I got fired from before the coronavirus hit and wiped out live events for like 2 years. So like, if I didn't get fired now, I mean, at that point, and then gotten another job, then I would have gotten let go into a fucking bum economy in trying to do live sound last on my resume. So
yeah,
live.
Yep. So in the end, we win. Fuck that guy.
So,
Woo, let's go.
Life. I don't.
I'm sorry, I'm being a petty bitch.
Like, let me just say, like, after that whole long story, like, I literally have no anger or hatred or like frustration with the whole thing, dude. Like, or with this person. I literally just was like, okay, moving on in life. And there's a lot of stuff that happened inside that space, but like.
And you did something special afterwards too, didn't you? You did something.
Okay, you want me to?
You did something very metaphorical.
Okay, so this is.
I think this is the good transition now. And this is what you do, people. This is ultimate fucking ownership. For everybody who can actually watch, who's not listening, Dave has exited his general sitting area and he is retrieving some sort of plaque that is hanging on the wall. I really don't want you to
see what company it is, so I'm going to hold it far enough away that you can't see it. I have the termination letter that I was given. I have it framed because I am proud that I got fired because it was the right thing for me and my life and my trajectory that I want to remember. First of all, I want to remember that I lose because I want to look at every day. I want to know that I have the ability to lose. Every day.
I lose too, man.
Every day I have the ability to lose. And I might not be prepared
every day,
for it.
dude.
Every day I don't have the right to anything that I have because I just don't, dude. I don't think I have the right to anything. I don't think anyone has the right to just be given anything. And so things can be taken away any single day and you don't have the right to them and everyone can lose. And so I look at it and I basically, first of all, is kind of a little pettiness there to be like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to totally crush you. I'm going to be the best at everything that I do past this job, that this was never going to be good enough for me. So there's a little bit of pettiness in there of the like chip on my shoulder that drives me to look at it and be like, fuck you. I'm going to completely crush this every day. Every time I look at this, I'm going to crush everything that you're able to create. So there's definitely a chip, right? But there's also like a look at it of like, any day you can lose. Any day things can be taken away from you. Any day you don't deserve what you have, or you don't get to just have what you have. You don't get to just wake up every day and just know that things are cool. And life can change and bottom out at any point. So for me, having that framed up, that's like a big... I don't know. It means a lot to me, actually. It's going to come around.
It's like that reminder. And then right next to it is like a picture of my face smiling.
Right underneath it is a picture of Meg in Tennessee. And then on the other side is...
Yep. And of course, like, as anybody would do, I'm above Meg. I'm like right there next to the termination letter. Like, as important as the termination letter, but more important than Meg, because everybody knows that podcast host.
On the other side is a
wife,
stopwatch, a pocket watch for my grandfather, and a medal for my half marathon that I ran last year.
Dude, that's a metaphorical milestone shit. Just for the record, everybody, there's no picture of me up in Dave's room.
But I didn't want to confirm it. You know what I mean?
I'm not important. I'm losing every day, and that's why I'm not hung up on Dave's fucking wall. He doesn't look at my mug, dude.
Dude, if your picture wasn't here, actually, that'd probably be bad. You'd be like, what's up? Like, after that example, like, you're right underneath me. I'm like, I don't want to be Ryan every day. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. Like, could be worse. Could be Ryan.
Yeah, dude, you couldn't be me, baby. I'm too I'm out here just being fucking elusive. You can't be me,
Who is
dude. I'm
this
too elusive.
Ryan Kerrigan VO I saw pop up on Instagram with no photos? Elusive. So elusive.
Yeah, dude. Do you know
I
how
do.
fucking bougie that is? Listen, I'm so fucking ahead of everybody else, like the Instagram game, dude. I'm no profile picture in it, dude. That's the future. You're so
It's like a
fucking
speakeasy.
exclusive that dudes don't
It's like
even
the
know
only
you
reason you
exist.
want to go in there and get the like really expensive
Yeah,
drinks
bro.
is because
It's
like
a
you can't.
speakeasy, but with a non-profile picture.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. Don't worry, dude. I'm gonna send everybody a carrier pigeon with some specific instructions on
That
where you
would
can
be
find my social
amazing,
media.
dude.
It's very discreet. Some next level shit, dude. It's a $5 million carrier
But dude, that's
pigeon,
my
dude.
story, man.
I'll talk to your people.
Like, that's it.
It's a bitchin' story, dude. Like, I don't know how I would handle getting fired, man. I would say that you are a stronger man than I. I would have, like, you had a shorter period of time than I think that I would have had between it happening and then experiencing just pure downhill spiraling. Like, I would have gotten fired and then might have made it to like the front doors before the tears started happening. And then I would for sure cry in the car for a lengthy period of time to the point where I would not safely be able to drive. And then I would get home
away.
and then the alcohol would flow like just like a river, dude. Absolutely.
I mean,
just drowning in shame.
That came later. Like, I definitely got to that point.
Yeah, I know, dude. But I'm just saying, like, you resisted it at first. Like, you reveled in the fucking glory that it was, and you didn't let the demons get to you right away. And like, the demons would devour me right away, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're a stronger spirit than I am. That's why you gotta fly under the radar and never get fired. That's the message, dude. You just quit before you can get fired and just fly under the radar.
It's tough, man. I'm definitely unemployable in some ways where like I
Do you think that's a strength though, dude? Because I hear you say that and I'm just like, Dave is the fucking man. That's basically what somebody who's the fucking man says. You know that, right? I'm unemployable in some ways. That's the most, dude. Well, I'm going to say it again. It's the most metal shit I've ever heard. I'm proud of it.
I don't know if that means it's a good thing or not.
Like, dude, can you put that? Okay, that needs to be in the show notes or something. That needs to be on the front of the website. Dave Swillam, I'm unemployable in some way.
Well, we are called the Waking Up From Work podcast for a reason.
Yeah, dude, we're waking up from work because we're unemployable in some ways, so we don't work for one. Oh, dude, I'm on one tonight, dude. Like I said, I love these episodes. I'm just, like I said, I'm feeling some periphery anxiety. It's a defense mechanism that I'm making fun of everything right now. Yeah, I'm putting myself in a space where I got fired, dude. It's just not ending up well.
You get fired. Yeah. You get fired tomorrow.
I'm just gonna fire myself tomorrow morning, dude.
You had no idea. You wake up tomorrow morning on Friday because we're heading into the weekend, and that's probably when they'd want to do it.
Yep.
Ryan, I'm really sorry. Current corona like strains on us. We're gonna have to let you go. You can't come back.
Ooh. That's gonna be I would like, dude, I know myself, and in the current place that I'm at in my job, like I'm very much at that place where like I know that my job is a good job and I like it and I'm really not bashing it, but I also know that in my heart of hearts I'm at this point where I know that I'm not gonna be there for my entire life, and expediting the process of not being there my entire life. So in a way I kind of vibe with you because I do think that I would hit that point where I'd just be like, oh yeah, like okay, I would definitely like I'd be like, all right, thanks very much, but I know myself too well where I'm like, dude, get a fucking silly ass comment in right here, just get some stuff that would be on like a sketch comedy and real quick that you could say to your buddies later. I'd be like, yeah, dude, so I got fired today and it was just like really uncomfortable, but then like I rolled up a piece of paper and I just yelled, "Fucking fade away like Kobe!" And then I just threw that shit into the fucking like into the basket, and I just ran out that bitch. And, you know, I would just do some stuff like that. You know, like we're like totally okay with like burning the bridge because it's just like, dude, at that point I'd just be like, I would accept the fact that my life has hit its like low point, and at that low point, I'm just like, I'm pivoting, dude. It's like voice acting
dude,
a bus, dude. I'm
felt
just gonna be a
better.
bum or a loser for the rest of my life. Like I would get to that point where I'm just like, yeah, dude, office work and the 9 to 5, everything is just not my thing anymore. And I think I would go psychopathic for a little bit, dude. I think that you would find me in a mental institution for 4 to 6 months for a while, having mental
Cool.
breakdowns. We'd have to do the podcast remote again. Yeah, dude, it'd be pretty fucking wild. You know, maybe that would attract some viewers. You know, you guys, we can get creative with it, dude. It's
Dude, it felt
man.
it felt good to
moves,
not
you know?
do that. It felt
But,
it felt
dude, like,
it felt so powerful to
Yeah.
be able to control myself enough to be like, hey, thank you for the opportunity, and shake a man's hand that like I hated.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, thanks for the opportunity. Walk away and just walk
and
away.
especially in
Dude.
that position
it felt
too, where
so
like
empowering to be like, I'm not going to stoop to your level because the way that he talked to me when he was firing me was awful, dude. Just more verbal harassment.
Yeah. And I think that people have this idea in their head too of like, oh, you know, in that situation, I would have done this and X, Y, and Z. And in a lot of ways, dude, you would have been completely justified in like, you know, maybe giving it back to him a little bit or reaming him out. And, you know, you'd be like, oh, well, this motherfucker did this, so I can say this to him. But like, in a way, like, you say so much more by just like being a man about it and saying thank you to that, because it's just like when you do that, dude, like that guy now has to sit in his own douchiness. Like you got to leave and go on with your own life, and that guy has to like sit in a room by himself, just being like the world's biggest toolbox. And you know that's on him, dude.
Yeah.
You know that's on him, man. He gets to ride down the shit river in the douche canoe.
So I hope that like everyone out there who heard this episode, first of all, anyone who lost their job during this shit, I'm very sorry. I'm also very aware that it's not the same thing as what happened to me, because there were things that were even more externally out of your control than my situation. So the most external, dude,
pretty much
possible.
The most external that it can possibly get. Like besides a hurricane coming or an earthquake splitting your town down the middle and having your literal business fall into a crevasse of some sort.
I'm happy you said it that way.
I'm sorry that I said it like that.
Sorry, not
I am
sorry.
too. Actually, I'm not fucking sorry.
Sarah's on Instagram Live right now.
Would be mad at me for some shit like that. Who's probably like, what? Like, well, yeah, what up, bro?
Oh my god.
What's up, homie?
But like on a serious note though, like the reason why we came out with this episode now is that I want you to know that as shitty as it possibly is, if it happened to you, or if it does happen to you, everyone's going to go through it their own way. Every situation's different, but like at the end of the day, you have to find a way to take it seriously. You also have to find a way to humor it equally, and in that way to get through it. Like you have to take it seriously in the way that like it's not if you unless you like are financially set up in some way, which like thank God for me, I was best in my position for finances that I had been in a lot of my life. Like I really worked hard to like attack debt and do things to bring my overhead down. Like I was safer than I normally was, but like you need to attack it. Like whatever it is that you want to do as a move, you can't freeze. You do have to wake up and just get shit done. It's not fun. Definitely don't think that like it's not like a vacation, because you can't not worry about what the future is and getting things in the hopper and getting like but at the same time, you do have to like, as soon as you possibly can, let go of things that you can't control. And that's honestly like, if this happened at a different point in my life, I wouldn't have handled it that way, because I was such at a point in my life that like, I truly believe that there is a path. I also truly let go of things that I can't control to a point, almost to like a bad point, where friends get mad at me if we're like, you know, I've been in times where like we're on like a rafting trip and we fall into whitewater rafting, or like I'm literally getting in a car accident. Like I've been in a car with someone and like I'm slipping on ice and I'm about to go into a bog and I fucking hit into a telephone pole that fell over on my, like I got in a huge car accident. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, chill. That truck accident happened.
When did this happen?
I don't know if that happened. Yeah. Remember I got my Tundra because my Titan got destroyed.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
Bro.
Holy
I'm
shit, bro.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, but like
you never
I'm in the
told me
car
about this,
accident.
No. Bro, we have a
I'm
podcast together. You never told me you had a life-altering
and
accident.
I'm sitting in there, and I'm not like
Well,
freaking
I thought
out
we were
because I'm
friends,
like,
dog.
I can't control this car right now. Like I tried really hard. Like I can't control the car that's crashing. So why would I freak out right now if I can't control this right now? The best thing for me to do is try to keep a level mind.
Because it's scary, David.
That's how I feel
Because
about
it's
life, man. Like
fucking
I was like, I
scary.
got fired. I was like, I can't
I
unfire
respect
myself.
it, dude. That's some psycho
I can't
shit,
do
dude.
anything to negotiate with this person. I knew that
Yeah.
to get myself unfired. So what is wasting time going to do? Once again, like the wasting time, like craziness in my head. Like I can't waste time, right? I'm like, why would I waste my time?
Mhm.
Why would I get razzed and then make it so that the rest of my day is ruined? Why am I going to make it so I'm unproductive tomorrow? I need to go either operate or I need to go chill. And that's like the way that I think there needs to be a balance between the two. Let go of things you can't control. If you can't control it, there's nothing you can do.
Mhm.
And then be active,
be active.
on finding a solution. And like, obviously, when you feel like shit, it's really hard to think that way. You know, we think we're normal humans. We're very subjective. We think with emotion very frequently, which also makes us make a lot of bad decisions, which it's just the way that we are. But the best that you possibly can, if you got fired, if you're going to get fired, it totally, totally sucks. But find a balance between the two is what I learned from that. And I just wanted to get this out to people who need it.
And when it happens, do some funny shit when it happens. Like, make sure that you do some silly fucking shit when you get the fuck out of there. Like, make it worth it, dude. Like,
Right?
if you're getting fired, go out like a boss. I'm just being silly,
Well-
people. Like, don't do that. I mean, unless you really don't give a shit about putting that stuff on the resume, then, dude, definitely do like a whistle dunk on the on the person who just fired you or some shit like
Oh
that.
my
I'm telling
God.
you, man. Like, get something in. Make it worth it. It's gonna be a bad day after that, dude. I'm putting myself in the position. I'm just
I had
like,
a
there's
good day
no way
after
to
that,
have
man.
a good day.
I had a
after
great
that.
day, actually. I felt fucking phenomenal.
Bro, I will say it. I've said it multiple times already tonight and before this. You're on some psycho shit, dude. This is why you're successful. Is because you might be the world's craziest individual, and that's why I hang out with you.
Thank you, dude. But I am crazy.
Yeah,
And the things that
Yeah.
I say are probably crazy too.
I know, dude. That's why we work well together, though. But that's why you're successful. I believe that.
Thanks, man. Because I'm fucking crazy.
You're willing to do what no normal person will do.
Man, I don't feel successful yet, but I appreciate that.
Your success in the making, dude.
All right. All right.
I just got all deep with it, dude, after being pretty much a jackass for like 45 minutes straight.
Well, I
I
would say
apologize for who I am as a person.
I argue that that's our show, really. But
Yeah,
between the two of us,
fuck you gonna do? I'm gonna cap this out. Ooh,
can
hashtag
we?
capping it out.
What do we do to cap things out when it's just us two, dude?
I don't know, dude. You want to do a little fucking dance or some shit like that? You know,
No, I do not dance.
just kind of say goodbye to each other. It can be like a metaphorical conversation ender.
Just stop recording. All right.
Yep. Like, do you want to just?
Yeah, I really did just stop recording. That's what we ended up doing. So that's episode 57, guys. I really hope that, you know, if you are not fired, I don't want you to be fired unless you want to be, unless you're firing your boss, then I really do want you to do that. But hope that you got some value out of that. If you are fired or you're in fear of being fired or you think you're going to be or you did in any way, any relation to the topic, I hope that my story and my thoughts were helpful for you. If not, at least a good laugh or something to think about or something like that. That's really all I want to get out of the episode for you. So next week, we're going to jump back into music and radio and things like that with an interview with Lou Brutus, who is the host of the Hard Drive in Hard Drive XL radio show on Sirius XM and podcast. He just came out with a book about a bunch of stories about his life, and he's just interviewed pretty much everyone in the world that you'd ever want to talk to. So really interesting guy, really down to earth, and tons of stories that just blew my mind. He knows basically everyone that I admire in the music world. So is really cool talking with him about some of his experiences, and he's just lived a lot of life. So next episode 58, is going to be with Lou Brutus. Really excited to share with you guys. You have a killer week. Make some good shit.